Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Your new goofy friend presents episode 2 of Interracial Friendships. Super duper excited about this episode because I have my closest family members, friends, sisters, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, they're gonna introduce themselves. You all will get to see them. They're excited. We have lots of stories and lots of topics to be talking about. Let's go ahead and get started with the intro. Name, relation to me, and
something.
Fun fact. Yeah. Take it away, ladies.
Okay. Hi, I'm Sade. Don't do this to me, Sharita. You messed me up already. Can the Zoom switch the screen? Because it's all Sharita and I can't focus. Got it. Woo. All right. Hi, I'm Sade. I'm Kiana's best friend, her only best friend. I've known Kiana since since I was 4. Fun fact about me is I don't like to do fun facts.
Me. This is our best friends. I hate fun facts too.
I'm just saying, what's a fun fact? Is it fun to me or is it fun to everybody?
I guess fun to you. Skip. Next. Out. You're done.
Hi, I'm Sharita. I am Kiana's favorite aunt, no matter what the rest of them say. I'm the favorite. Fun fact. Yeah, I'm very excited about being here tonight. Back to you, Kiana.
Fun fact, she sings.
Yeah, I can sing. Me?
Yes, you too.
Who else?
Hi, I'm Tiera. I am Kiana's sister. It's 5 of us in all, so I'm the one under her. I'm the second oldest. And I love.
You love who?
Butter bread.
Y'all wait. No, wait. Pause. Girl's email, her Gmail was butterbread16.
It was. I think that was your first.
Okay. So let's start with the first topic because I want to take up all y'all's time. What are your thoughts on interracial relationships and the impact they can have when it comes to bettering society and like pushing society forward with progressive ideas and kind of changing the old narrative? Like,
my upbringing had a lot to do with, I don't know how interactive with people who weren't my race. It was always you respect everybody. Like, you're not nice to black people because they're black. Like, it was never a bias, I feel like, in my household. So even growing up, whenever I was in like majority black classes and people were sort of, cracking on the white kids, I was always nice to everybody. So I'm like, no big deal. So I mean, yes, she was white, I was black, but I think when I click with people, it's more about the energy they have and their personality. So we both somewhat nonchalant, blunt. We just real. I'm cool with you. So
sorry to interject, but I remember being jealous of y'all's relationship. That's how close they were. Like, their bond was so sisterly and so strong. Like, I just remember, like, Tiera, because Tiera was not listening to country music before. I don't think you were listening to country music before, Debbie. Any, like, just had a newfound love. Come on, list them.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I would say our friendship was basically just based off our personality. I mean, we knew we were white and black. We knew that there was, I guess, social tension. But I say 6th grade, we didn't really have conversations at that age about injustices and whatnot. I would say it got to college whenever I started having conversations. My roommates, freshman year, I lived with a white girl first semester. The second semester, I lived with a girl from El Salvador. And then my previous year, I lived with 3 white girls. So for me, I love diverse friend groups, communities. So I like what people think. I like to understand why they think a certain way. And it sort of makes sense on, why maybe they have thought processes like this, or maybe they were raised like this, so they're ignorant. So I can't be upset with certain things. And also, I would say not just from a Black and white relationship. That's what we've been talking about. My close friend, that's my best friend, my roommate from El Salvador. We're both minorities. And I think with her living in America, or being she's not a citizen, she's just here for school right now. But being a Hispanic in America right now is not it. I mean, it ain't for Black people, but I mean, like, for other minorities, it's a struggle too. And being able to just talk to her about, how whenever her parents come from home, and she's ordering for them at Cracker Barrel or something like that, and the racists are looking at them, disgusted or rude because they can't speak English, and just things that she has to struggle with, being not from America or whatever. It's eye-opening as well, and then also having Caucasian friends who I can, voice how I feel about certain things, and they hear me out and I hear them out. And like, I think when you just can actually have an open ear, you're not prejudgmental, right? Have your mom talking to somebody, you can sort of, I don't know, through your, not differences, but you can respect it at least. If you ain't trying to hear nobody's side, whether you completely disagree it or not, you're not gonna get nowhere. It's not gonna be no unity. So for me, I would say my what is it? What are we talking about?
Interracial friendships.
That.
Butcher the series name on our channel, please. That's exactly what we need.
But my relationships, people who aren't of my ethnicity, haven't necessarily been a bad experience, because I try to go in open-minded, and I try to shed light into things they could be ignorant of. Like, hey, like, you're saying this and I hear you out, but I'm gonna give you my perspective and see why I think this way. You can be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Like, I see now how that can be a problem, or injustice, make you feel a certain way. I think both ends of it has to be that way for it to sort of stay a relationship.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, both sides have to be listening to one another in order to really have a conversation that can make an impact. And I think you're right. I think there's an opportunity for unity in interracial friendships, and an opportunity for someone who maybe you're friends with a white person or a Hispanic person, and they've never been friends with someone outside of their race or culture before. And now you have an opportunity to literally, you could change the projection of their life. You could change how they watch the news or how they interpret a life event. I'm being extra. Y'all don't, stop laughing at me. Stop.
Well, I can say, because I am in a marriage with a biracial person. His mom is white, his dad is Black. As far as progression, it shows more unity. I guess that's what you would say.
Yeah.
However, there is a part of it that's a little, I don't want to say off, but there's a part of it that's a little hard to deal with. Because, for instance, right now we're in 2020 and racism is still very apparent. But it's not children. And sometimes I feel like I want to say something, but then I have to realize that that could also be offensive to him. He's offended on both sides. But before me and him got together, one of my best friends was white. As a fun fact, I'll tell my fun fact here. When I was in, I think, either 9th or 10th grade, I was in Spanish class, and there was this white girl. I don't want to say her name because of, Okay. But so when I was in I think it was the 10th grade, but it was 9th or 10th. There was a white girl in my class, and in my Spanish class. We were sitting by each other, and we just started talking. And the teacher asked us to be quiet. And she said, "Do you even know each other?" And I told the teacher, I said, "Yeah, this is my cousin." And she said, "Huh?" And the girl went along with it. She said, "Yeah, this is my cousin." And so she was like, "No, stop playing." I say, "Seriously." I say, "My mom and her mom are sisters. They have the same father." And she was so stuck. And my girl went with me on this. And so till this day, that was 9th or 10th grade. Till this day, if we see each other, we still tell each other, "Hey, cuz." I told my mama the story. So she always referred to my mama as Auntie Vicky, and I always referred to her mama as Auntie. But we had a genuine friendship, a genuine relationship. She's still my girl.
Yeah.
Even with everything that's going on, I don't have animosity towards her because all white people are not bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
All Black people are not bad.
Right.
All Chinese, everybody is not bad. So you can't hate a whole culture because of a few people,
Yeah. Agreed.
Best
I think that's
friends.
so cool.
We've been friends since preschool, I want to say. And it wasn't really, I guess at that age, you don't really notice the difference. I mean, at least for me, I didn't really notice the difference in skin color until maybe, I want to say middle school. And that's kind of where different aspects of cultural views kind of goes in. And we've had multiple talks about how it would affect our friendship, and we just decided that those type of discussions at that age we just wouldn't have, because it was so much tension and then so much, I guess, misunderstanding that we didn't even know what we were talking about. It was more so what our families were saying, or
initially it was you both were younger, and it was kind of a thing of, oh, I don't see a difference, like this is just my friend, we're friends. And then there was a change, and behaviors and ideas were learned, and then for you the friendship kind of went from like, okay, well, here are things that y'all made a conscious decision that, okay, we can't talk about these hot topics, we just need to focus on ourselves as individuals. Like, would you say the hot topics, social issues, whatever, like kind of pushed you two apart at all?
For me, it did at some point. For instance, with the Trayvon Martin case, that was a hard topic for us to talk about, because looking back, you don't realize how much media put like him in a negative light. So like for me at the beginning, I was like, oh, they definitely murdered that kid, or that was completely wrong, Black power and all that stuff, and we were on the same page. And then no, I'm serious. This is mind of a child. I don't know anything.
Power,
I don't know what Black power is. I'm just like, Black power. That's my society. You know what I mean? So like that was my mindset. And so like we would have discussions, and we were on the same page. And like the night of the trial, well, I wouldn't say the night of the trial, but leading up to the night of trial, you could tell that viewpoint started to change. I'm just like, huh? And like, how could you not, see and stuff like that? And once the verdict came out, and I remember because I posted it on Facebook how I felt, and she called me immediately, and she just wanted to make sure that I was okay, and that just because we had different viewpoints or how she felt about the whole case, like it didn't affect our relationship. And that was when I had to decide if I was going to let it affect us or not. And I mean, I let it go, to be honest, because I mean, I love this chick. This my sister. This is my best friend. So I let it go. And
okay, it's kind of hard not to feel a certain type of way, but then you don't want to always address certain things, because you don't want to make the problem worse. Like Sade was saying with the Trayvon Martin thing, when Trayvon Martin thing came out, when the thing with Michael Dunn came out, but don't talk about me because I can still hear you.
I have a question, and I want you both to answer very honestly. Can you have a healthy friendship, interracial friendship or otherwise, where you can't speak about issues that you're that passionate about, and you feel that the other person can hear you? Because this is the always learning segment that we're talking about. And if someone feels that their friend isn't going to receive, isn't going to even discuss a topic with them because of whatever reason, like, can learning happen, and is that a healthy friendship if those conversations can't be had?
I mean, I would say that's not a healthy friendship, and that friendship is probably very surface level. If you're talking about, your ride or die or whatever, that's somebody who you go to when rock bottom, or you high as a kite. Not high, y'all, but
I was gonna say,
this is a
4 years
family
sober.
channel.
4 years sober, Jesus. Okay, wait. It's Sharita. She can.
I would say it's not healthy because you have to filter anything you have to say around somebody who you're supposed to be stuff around. There's nothing about that healthy, We're supposed to be welcoming, like, I don't know, everything about us kind of thing. We both gotta, it can't be one way. Relationship can't be.
You're spitting facts. You're spitting straight facts, because I had to realize that wasn't a healthy relationship for me, because it felt like there was always a part of me that I was keeping away from who like I truly was and who I like believed. And sad to say, but I didn't notice that until I was in college and I actually met people that were like from a different nationality of me, different race, and like had whole completely different mindsets, and we were able to sit down and have a conversation, a healthy conversation for hours, understanding both viewpoints. And I didn't feel any guilt. I didn't feel bad about it. That this is what I'm not going to stand for anymore and stuff like that. And then, to be honest, it's still something I have to work on, because I find myself being like, I don't want to hurt her feelings, I don't want to hurt stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it's either you compromise for what you believe in or you don't. So
Yeah, and I would just add on to that. I'm not gonna say that it's gonna be easy to talk about it. Of course,
no,
nothing about it's like,
definitely not.
My best friend, I'm just talking about this how I feel. Like, of course, it ain't easy, but you gotta.
Yeah.
I'm gonna add real quick because I had something that I wanted to add.
Okay.
With continuing on the path of the unhealthy relationships, I know Tiera was saying that it can be hard to have those conversations, but one thing that I've been thinking about, because I've been talking to a couple of my friends, I'm not gonna call no names, I'm not gonna get specifics, but I've been able to see when explaining things or explaining why an injustice is an injustice in society in an interracial friendship, how I can see like explaining that caused stress on the person, to the point where in my mind I was like, I don't know if this is a friendship that you should be continuing. Like this kind of I'm feeling where you're at right now, because and that's another conversation that I think people of color have had, where they're like, it's not our responsibility. Like there are plenty of books, there are plenty of resources. If you are really a friend of someone, like you're not going to put them through that too many times. Of course they can lead you, and of course if someone's like, if it's an outlet and something happens and a person needs to speak on an issue, like that's awesome for you to be there, for that friend to be there for you in terms of that, and now you're learning. But like I'm wondering what you all think when it comes to the unhealthiness of a friendship. How far do we go to educate our friends?
Well, I could tell you what not to do. I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt you. I was just saying, I know what you do not do. What I've learned now over the years, don't censor yourself, because that builds up and you start to express emotions that you wouldn't associate with a friendship, I guess you could say, effective friendship. And don't do things that would make your character and be shown in a wrong light because you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. Like for me, the way I did it was I would joke about like a racist comment just to see like where a friend's viewpoint is. And I would do this in high school too, just like to see like where to start a conversation of about, and it didn't work because I ended the conversation usually feeling crappy. So
well, I was saying, how far do you go to censor yourself, or refrain from speaking about topics that you're passionate about in order to make a friendship work. And at that point of, you know, censoring yourself, like at a certain point of censoring yourself, is it really a healthy friendship? Are y'all really friends? Like, for example, I saw a comment where someone said, just because someone doesn't have a gun doesn't mean they don't deserve to be shot. And to me, I was taken aback. Personally, I could not be friends with a person who, if after explaining to you why that statement is very problematic and why that statement, if after explaining to you why that is not okay, why that process of thinking is not okay, if you're still on that, I personally couldn't be friends with you. But that's just because I think
I kind of pretty much agree with you. If somebody has the mindset that just because they're not armed doesn't mean they shouldn't be shot, that kind of really targets, if you think about it, that really targets Black people. Because if you look at it, history has shown they shoot the Black people. So it kind of comes off like a way of kind of saying Black people deserve to get shot without necessarily saying Black people deserve to get shot. Yeah. Trayvon, I'll talk about Michael Dunn and Jordan Davis. I'll talk about, who else was it? Just recently, what's the guy name? Ahmaud, I think it was Ahmaud. But when Trayvon got shot, a lot of people started bringing up the fact that the reason why he was in Sanford anyways was because he had got expelled from school. That has absolutely nothing to do with why he was shot.
Mean he should have
because he, and that's even if he was expelled. If he was expelled, that means he was paying for what he did in school. Right. That does not mean you shoot him because he's expelled from school and he's walking home with a bag of Skittles and the Arizona drink. That's no reason to shoot somebody. Just like when Michael Dunn shot Jordan Davis, he tried to make it seem like these were thugs. All they were doing was listening to their music really loud. Just because you don't like loud music don't give you the right to take out a gun and shoot somebody.
Yeah.
You know, and then even with the new situation, the guy was running around the neighborhood. And then they said, well, he fit the description of somebody who was breaking in homes and stuff or cars and stuff at night. So what that tells me is a Black person can do anything, and then you just target all Black people because they look Black. They look like they fit the
Black people were hunted for sport in this country. And I think that the remnants of that time is what we're seeing. And someone else died today where an officer had his knee on a man's neck.
Yeah, I saw that.
And he died. I was like, are you serious? And
like
for me, if I'm in a friendship with someone and I can't say the phrase Black Lives Matter, and if they don't even give me the opportunity to be like Black Lives Matter too and kind of explain why America is not showing us that Black Lives Matter right now, then I personally don't think I can be friends with that person. Not beyond a surface level, kind of what Tiera was saying. Like, not she's gone. I was going into the next
My bad.
No, you're fine.
My bad. I think you're asking, how do Black people
view
racial
yes, that is
Black
it.
person whenever their best friend's a white person or
she's
dating
talking about. Yes.
Right. So personally, for me, I think we've all heard the phrase, "Ooh, you talk white," or "Oh, you don't
that phrase so
listen to white music."
I never got that speech.
I
blah
hate
blah
that
blah
so
blah
much.
blah.
I've always talked Black. That's what they tell me.
Not. Oh my gosh.
I could never talk white, so yeah, I know.
I don't even know what that is.
I don't either.
Is that like a stereotype against your own culture?
Like ignorant, or do only white people talk educated? I'm not.
Yeah, that's
ending.
I think what they mean. I don't necessarily think they all mean like everybody who said it. I don't think everybody means it as a stereotype. People, if you put them on the phone and listen to them, you cannot tell if they are Black or white.
Them though.
Yeah.
Like they didn't mean, they meant it as your proper. Okay, so you're still saying that Black people can't
be proper.
I mean, like, that don't make no sense to me. You were asking, how do you think Black people view it, Kiana?
Yes, correct.
I think it's based on a generation, because I would say, like, like grandma and them, like, they were raised when it was segregated and it was a lot more hatred, very forward, like very, very forward. And so I think, I don't look at it negatively when there's like the older population of Black people are sort of feeling a little salty and ill about it. Because I was raised in a generation where I can't drink a water fountain, I can't go to this bathroom. You know what I mean? Like you like this. I know, like, there's a lot of resentment in that, and so
that's a good point.
I understand who you're talking to whenever it's like, oh, they don't hang out with white people. Okay, well, these people were trying to lynch them, or you know, they dad, or even them. I don't know what time.
But T, I'm gonna ask you this: how often have we brought over a friend that didn't look like us to our grandparents and they rejected them?
No, like never.
That hasn't happened. But I'm saying like, but out there, what you're saying is completely valid. But even our grandparents, having lived through all of that terribleness, are still able to see that this is an innocent child that my child has befriended, and this is a separate person from the people that I interacted with in the early 1900s, mid 19 whatever. You know what I'm saying? So like, those time periods might be off, y'all.
I mean, just a little bit. I know where you're going though. I know where you're going with
that. You know, Black people, and we do have a tendency to be a little bit more accepting, but
way more accepting, I would say.
Right, but let's just talk about this point real quick. Sometimes I think when we see interracial relationships is a little bit stronger than friendships, but interracial relationships and friendships, we kind of question how Black a person is, or how woke or down or aware of
not woke or down
they may be, right? You know,
woke or sleep, you mean?
No, I mean, like, okay, well, Tiera, do you have last minute things you want to add real quick, and then you can go? I know you have to go.
I mean, I like where you're going with the whole Black people feel like you got to prove, you know, your Blackness and all that stuff.
And I think that's something that what Auntie was saying with like being biracial. That's like a whole. I feel like you have to constantly prove how Black you are, the lighter you are.
I sort of feel like that all comes from like, if a Black person feels away, I feel like that sort of dwells within them, like this insecurities or just something they don't like about themselves, to sit there and point out, you know, other things about someone else who they think isn't Black. You know what I mean? Like, who are you to define what Blackness is? Like that kind of thing. So I feel like when you have those people who are just like, oh, you know, you ain't really Black, or blah blah blah, or, you know, your hair, whatever the case may be, or what you eat, your diet, I think that's more about maybe what their family or their peers sort of have, like, I don't know, told them what Blackness is, or something that they, I don't know, they feel like they lack or whatnot, or I don't know. You get what I'm saying?
To be honest, I see that in white people as well.
Yeah.
Because to us, like on the Black side, it's kind of like, oh, you're not really Black, or, you know, it's almost like we downplay our Blackness if we with somebody white. But most white people have a problem with a white person being with a Black person. And it's not like, oh, you're not white. It's more of, oh, you wish you were Black, you know? So it's like we talk about each other like, oh, you're not Black, or you're not, you know, you're not down, or how you say it, woke. But then white people can feel like, oh, well, you just want to be Black, or you're trying to be Black, or whatever. You know, you got, it comes on both sides.
Side note, Connie, your edge is clean though.
You think so?
Yeah.
Thing real quick. It might not even be quick, but fetishization of Black culture.
Wait a minute. What does that mean? Are you saying fetish?
Fetishization, like people wanting to be a part of Black culture.
So like appropriating?
Appropriation. How can you tell when someone doesn't necessarily want to be with you for you, but instead they want Black culture or Blackness? Kind of what you were saying, like, oh, they want to be Black. Like, I think that is a real thing where sometimes people don't necessarily care to know you. They care to know a stereotype or be what's cool about being Black. I made her brave.
Well, I actually had that happen to me when I was at First Coast. There was this girl, she was a white girl, and she dated Black guys and all of this. And she came to school one day with a grill. And so one of my homegirls was like, "Ooh, like, why you got that in your mouth?" And she feel like, and she just started like, that we hate, and she was like real extra. And I was like, seriously? And she made the statement, and when she made the statement, I kind of lost it. She was like, "Oh, don't get mad because I'm blacker than both of y'all. I'm a white girl and I'm blacker than both of y'all." And it kind of was like, that's what you came up with. So I let her go, but up until she said that, I was just like, okay. So first of all, so let me help you out, because she made me mad with that one because I didn't like the way she was. Yeah, nah, how should I got? That's what you see me as. That's not how I talk. First of all, that's not me. I said, because of what you're trying to be, black, I am. I said, you're the one date. I said, you're dating all these black guys because that's what you want to be. You want to be me. So don't come for me because I'm not the one. You are not black. That what you're doing is not black. That's ignorance. Not saying that black people that talk like that are ignorant, but because that's what you see, because that's what you, that's what you thought was cute, and I like. That's Tyler Perry. That's some Tyler Perry stuff.
Yeah,
that's
a character.
Yeah, that's a character. That's not black people. That's not all of us. And I was very offended because for one thing, she came in with the grill, and basically that's what she was trying to show us, that she can be blacker than us. You can never be blacker than me.
Not so.
Ever. Because my mother is black. My father is black. I am black. Your mother and your father are white. You will forever be white. That's what we still have to deal with, but.
And I think that the people that that I meet that claim they want to be my friend, that are consistently pointing out how different my hair is and just changing the way they speak to me. They'll speak to one person, "Oh, hi, how are you?" And then, "Yeah, girl, honey, yes, the house slay, fire." And I'm just like, I'm sorry, what?
You make yourself sound stupid.
Yeah, I'm like, I didn't talk to you that way. So it's there. Don't let it fool you now.
Oh, don't let it fool you. It's in there.
Oh, Lord.
The main point that I wanted us to make was that it is not healthy to, and it doesn't feel good to have someone who, you know, does not share your same experiences and who is different from you, has different life experiences, to have them kind of put a label on you or put a description on you before you can even describe yourself. That's not a good way to start a friendship or even be in a friendship at any point. Like if someone's doing, like maybe people don't start that way, but then they try to do that.
And there is hope at the end. There is hope at the end of the day. If you are committed to this person, or if you feel that you and this person have a future or too much to lose, like I would say work on it, because if they love you like they say they love you, then they will listen to your concerns and they will love you regardless of whatever they think or whatever you think, and just work through it. It's a relationship takes communication and work.
We're going to be talking about that more. I love it.
What, colorism?
Communication.
That's a whole different topic.
Communication. So, like Sade said, there is hope. And like I said earlier, I love white people. I love black people. I love Chinese people. I love people. I don't fault a whole culture over a few people, over a few bad people. Like I said, one of my best friends is white. We've never had any real issue about views like this because I know how I feel. You know, she knows how she feels. We can feel the way we feel. She's supportive of black people. I'm supportive of the struggle she may have. You know, when you're a real friend, you can go through things together. You might, like I said, you might not agree on everything.
Yeah.
But you don't let that dictate your friendship. You don't let that ruin your friendship, rather.
Yeah.
So that is the conclusion. Thank you all for stopping by. I look forward to next week's episode, where we will be continuing the always learning phase, talking about each person in the friendship's point of view, and continuing the whole, conversation about, if something offensive happens, what do we do? How do we move forward? Do we give up on the friendship? And then more stories and examples of real life interracial friendships and what's healthy and what's not healthy. We're going to get into specifics next week. But love y'all. See you next time. Sincerely, your goofy friend.
Ahmad. But I know, for instance, when Trayvon got shot, what y'all saying?
Like, edit that part out. Cut it out.
Yeah, just edit that part.
I mean, it didn't bother me that she had as much that she had a Sharita, what are you saying? Because I'm going straight to you.
Oh, the devil don't want me to talk today, but he allowed me to say this.
Conscious decision. Tiera. What? Why is everybody? You know what? Was it me?
Auntie is over here like, this girl is being theatrical.
Oh my gosh! I was like, preach, God, preach.
I told y'all it was Michael Dunn, Jordan Davis.
Yeah, Michael Davis is like a guitarist or something like that.
My bad.
Wow. She was so confident too when she interrupted you.
I know. It was real.
Sharita done talking right now.
Daddy,
back to you.
Maybe we can just put captions under you. If you just stay frozen and just put the captions. What you're trying to say?
Hold on.
Talk about things. Auntie, I'm gonna mute you for just a second.
I don't even want to.
Oops. Wait,
Why'd you mute me?
I heard the babies in the background.
No, that's Savannah. But sure, I'll sing it. Jesus loves the little children, all the children of the world, red and yellow, black and white. They are precious in His sight. Jesus loves the little children of the world. That should be on TikTok. Amen.